Artificial intelligence. Yes, AI. We had to talk about it at some point in this series. Companies are weaving AI tools into their products, into their offerings, their services, and not just at Cisco, but companies around the world. So you have to ask yourself, are you able to take these tools and make your life a little bit easier? Save time, elevate your work. Those are the things that you need to look at. Today, we're going to talk about AI ops. This is the use of big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence to make IT operations a little bit simpler, to streamline workflows. We will be looking at AI ops and security cloud control. Let's say you travel to work and you spend an hour on the road, an hour going and an hour coming back. That's 2 hours of travel time to work every day. I approach you and I ask you if you're interested in a shortcut. I can cut your travel down by 50%, 40%, 30%, whatever. Would you want to learn more? I would be surprised if you said no. I think you would want to learn about this shortcut. What can you do to cut your travel time down? This is how I view our AI tools that are weaved into the portfolio. They're there to cut your virtual travel time down, to be your companion, to help you out. You have to take advantage of these tools that are out there. Now, I'm not just talking about the AI assistant that's out there. We have this AI assistant in security cloud control. I could ask it questions. How many policies do I have out there? I can ask it questions. I can ask it how to configure things. The AI assistant will do that. It will inform me. It will educate me. However, with AI ops, I'm looking for a little bit more than that. Help me with my environment. Help me figure out what should I change in my environment. Am I taking advantage of all the features that I should be taking advantage of? That is what AI ops is, and we're going to take a look at that in security cloud control. So we're going to go a little bit beyond this AI assistant that's there. Let's close this out. I'm in Security Cloud Control, and we're going to go over to Insights and Reports. And you'll see that there's an AI Ops Insights section. Now I have access to a couple of features that are out there, a couple of areas that are out there that you might not see, but these are things that are going to be weaved in to the platform. So as you can see there, I can take a look at a summary. I can see my ecosystem. If there's something that stands out, I will see it here in the AI Ops in the summary. I see operations configuration. It looks like I have a best practice recommendation, and there's nothing for security there. So let's go back and we'll take a look at the policy analyzer and optimizer. This is a big one. I've seen many client rule sets. One thing I will say is that some of you can take care of your policies. That's a great thing. Some of you cannot take care of your policies, and it happens. It happened to me. I would just let policies grow and grow and grow. And then when it's time for you to audit these policies, when it's time for you to take care and clean up these policies, well, it's going to take a little bit of time. So what if we provide that shortcut to try and shorten that time down so that you're not spending time looking at rule after rule after rule? Let's summarize it for you. And that's what we can do with AI Ops. So here I have my cloud delivered FMC. I can connect an on-prem FMC as well. So if you have an on-prem FMC, you can connect it to Security Cloud Control. Depending on the version that you're on, you can take advantage of some of these features. If you're on 7.4, 7.6, and above, you can see some of this. 7.2, you can see some of this as well. You can have the analyzer and optimizer make changes for you if you're on 7.6 and above on an on-prem FMC. However, with a cloud-delivered FMC, I can do those things as well. So I'm taking a look at my cloud delivered FMC. I can see my policy that's out there. I want to analyze things a little bit more. So let's do a reanalyze policy. And that's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take a look at my rule set, and it's going to find out what's going on. Now, I don't have that many rules out there. You might have a lot of rules out there. So there's probably a lot of valuable data that you can glean from having the policy analyzer and optimizer. Take a look at your rule set to try and help you clean things up. So we'll give this a minute here to run, but I want to explore what it can do and what it can help me with. The analysis is now complete. We can see there that this main DAVnet policy that I have here applied to 2 devices has a total of 10 rules. Again, in your environment, thousands of rules, hundreds of rules. However, in these 10 rules, I have 4 observations, and it says that my policy is 30% optimizable. That's great. I want to find out more information. And it's also important to note that we're not just going to find out information, but we're going to remediate these things as well. So let's view analysis details and optimize. And we can see more information about my policy. We can see rule usage history, what rules are dead, are not being used out there. And we also have these tabs at the top, the duplicate rules that are out there, fully shadow rules, as well as redundant rules. If there's expired rules, you might have timers on your rules that have expired. No one ever removed those rules. You should go back and audit your policy. We have rules that are mergeable that we can probably put together, combine, and then there's other things that I haven't matched, which is great. Let's go over to policy insights, and we can see the policies that I have. We can see some of these rules that have never been hit. We can see hit counts. We can see all that information there for my 10 rules. However, if you have thousands and thousands of rules, you can also get a lot of good information from those rule sets. Information's great, but taking action is a little bit better. Doing those cleanups is definitely something you want to do. Let's go over to duplicate rules. And I see here that I have 2 fully shadowed rules. That's one observation. So we'll click that and we'll get information on these rules. And we'll see that I have this lab to outside, allow, it's being used. You can see those hit counts. I also have 2 other rules, allow traffic to LinkedIn and lab internet access. And these 2 rules are not being used. I can dig into the whys of this. I can also remediate these things. It's like if I want to fix these things, I can do that. Now, you have change management. Obviously, follow the change management rules at your organization. That's important. One of the things that I would advise is just disabling those rules for now, just to make sure it's not one of those things that maybe gets hit once a month. But if it's fully shadowed, it won't get hit. So you know what? I'm going to delete those rules. We'll click that, delete all the rules. You get some information on here. I want to proceed with that. All fully shadowed rules have been marked for deletion. Click Apply Remediation to delete rules. Okay. Let's take a look at the mergeable rules. You can see here that there's 2 observations. This rule can be merged by combining the source zone values into one rule. We recommend you merge this one rule to increase efficiency. That's always a good thing. So we have my main rule there. We also have a rule below it. Rule listed below can be merged by combining the source zone values into one rule. And we'll take a look at the second one. Same thing there. I think I'm just going to do the duplicate rules for now. So I'm going to apply the remediation. We recommend that you take a policy backup. Let's click Apply. And we'll let that do its thing. But you can see here the ease of trying to clean up your rule sets, especially when you have hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of rules. Remediations are successfully completed. I can download an optimization report. This is a great way to help you clean up your rule sets. What else can we do with AIOps here in Security Cloud Control? Let's take a look at the best practices and recommendations. Who doesn't love best practices? Some of the best practices that we have out there might or might not apply to your environment. It depends on the use case as well. But usually you might be fine with a best practice. So these are all things to take a look at, spend time figuring out if this is something that should be a fit. At least AIOps is saying that this might be a fit in your environment. So if we take a look here, there's some checks that are happening and it'll let you know if these best practices apply and if you've already applied these best practices. So let's take a look at the main firewall that I have here in the lab. We can see that there are 4 checks, but I've passed all 4 of those checks. I have Eve, which is Encrypted Visibility Engine, up and running, and we'll talk about that in the next couple of weeks. But Eve is taking a look at the encrypted traffic that's going through my firewall using fingerprinting just to see, can this be something that's malicious without doing decryption? We'll talk about that. But these are some of the best practices that can apply in your environment. It's taking a look to see if these are things that perhaps you already have turned on or might not have to turn on. It'll give you an explanation of it as well. Let's take a look at this performance optimization. There's a vulnerability database that should not be installed. because of a defect, and it's making sure you don't have that running in your environment. Elephant flow detection is disabled. It is recommended to enable it. And as you can see there, that's also pass. So these are good things. Again, change management. If you're going to turn some of these things on, make sure you follow your change controls for the organization. But they're here to advise you on what you should have in your environment. Let's go back to insights and reports. Feature adoption. Are you taking advantage of all the features that you could potentially take advantage with your firewall? We can see there that my adoption rate right now is 41%. There's 12 total features, 7 of them adopted. 5 adopted, 7 not adopted. So we should take a look at those things to see if they apply to my environment. We took a look at the AI assistant earlier, and we can see there that the adoption is 100%. But what about something that's not being used? Let's take a look at change management. For my CDFMC, that's not adopted, and it gives us information on how to turn those things on. Should there be a button I can click on to jam this in? Perhaps, but these are usually bigger features that you'd want change controls on, you'd want approvals. So it'll give you information on how to apply these features. You can take that, put it in your change control for approval purposes. Now, what else do we have in AIOps? We have a software upgrade planner. What vulnerabilities are out there in your environment? What bugs potentially can you fix by going to a different version of code? Those are questions that I get all the time. You can go to Security Cloud Control for your environment, and you can take a look at that information there. Application insights. This is a newer one. Weaving in digital experience monitoring, weaving in the health of your applications into what we're doing with Security Cloud Control. Right now, I'm not monitoring applications out there, but I want to view those settings. And I can see there that there are things I can monitor. Let's say WebEx. We'll check that box. We'll submit. All right. And let's do Teams. We'll do Microsoft Teams as well. We'll submit. But so now what we're doing is we're figuring out if the issues that I might be experiencing with WebEx, with Teams, with whatever chosen application are because there's something going on out there in the world. There's some correlation that happens to see if the issues that I'm experiencing are because of a bigger outage that might be outside of my environment. Let's go back and select Application Insights. 2 applications are being monitored. Right now, there are no affected domains. There's no outages that are being noticed. We'll let that do its thing. It's looking for the last 24 hours, and it's taking a look at data from Thousand Eyes. They will continue to add more and more into AIOps. Again, you want to save time in the things that you're doing. You want to help elevate your work. And this is where AIOps comes in. This is where AI in general comes in. Take advantage of the tools that are out there. I will see you on the next one.